Crafty Babes, it's Andrea. I am sharing with you a process video. Today we are working through week 1 of Illustrated Faith Revival Camp. If you haven't signed up for camp yet, it is free, F-R-E-E, free. The devotionals and the process videos by Shauna are free to you. And then there are supplemental elements and digital printables that you can buy to decorate and illustrate in your Bible when you go through camp. So here I'm actually working on an intro page, and then I am going to work on week 1 and the actual devotional. So I decided I wanted to kind of open this up with just a recent-ish photo and some of the elements that just drew my eye and said the things I wanted to say. So I'm just cutting up a few things. So I accidentally printed a couple of these sheets on a really thin paper. So you may or may not have been able to see that it was kind of a thin paper, but I've put them aside for the moment and I've mixed a couple of colors, a coral and I think I'm going to do like a mustard. Yeah, I'm doing a mustard. And I'm just sprinkling those across the 2 pages because the page on the left that has the handwriting, that already has ink splatters, paint splatters on them. So I was trying to mimic that on the other side so it looked like it was the same. So I'm no expert in watercolor, but the things I have learned is that in order to make the splatters nice is by having a really wet brush. So, and yes, I did make a little mess, and yes, I am the girl that cleans up before the project is over. I need a clean surface. So I'm going to glue that down now. It's dried a little bit, and I do smear a couple of the paint splatters, but that is okay. Yeah, there it happened. No big deal. So the beginning of this is just an introduction to what the 4 weeks are going to be about. So I just wanted to have a little bit more of a opening page, title page, saying that this is my revival and that's just how it's going to start. So let's see what I'm doing. I am going to make a matting for this photo, and I really like that coral watercolor effect that was actually meant to be the cover of the Traveler's Notebook for Revival Camp, but I used a different cover, and so I had that piece of paper left over, and I really like that. So I'm just trying to figure out where things should go. I don't really want to do a whole lot around the photo because I like simplicity and I like the contrast, and so I'm working on figuring that part out at the moment. And I have this little blue strip and I keep trying to add it places. It just doesn't seem to be working anywhere. And another thing that I don't want to do is cover up too much of the scripty words because I really like the black and white. I really like the color that's underneath it, and I'm kind of digging it. So I'm looking through the Wordfetti, picking a few things that speak to me, that kind of just say the right things. And there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of how I was feeling in the moment. So I've got this love that's cut out, and I really wish that I would have had clear sticker paper at the time, but my Amazon order hadn't come in yet. So I ordered some clear sticker paper, and it is life-changing, but these are either printed on cardstock or a 32-pound paper because I accidentally had the wrong paper in my printer, but no worries at all. No one's going to care once it's glued down. I'm just loosely fussy cutting around this love word, and I'm going to place it right along the edge, well, not the edge, but the top of the photo, and kind of sneak it underneath there just a little bit. And I really do like how the heart and the cross sit right there next to each other. They complement each other. They're the right size, and they bring a little bit of balance to that page over there. And then I'm making some decisions, folks, and I'm gluing stuff down. This is always kind of, in a way, it's my favorite part of the process, and on the other hand, it's also kind of the saddest part because putting it together is always the part that I love, picking the colors and figuring out where things go. Gluing it down feels like, oh, it's kind of it's kind of over now. But then, of course, we always get to move on to something new. Okay, we are going to just glue this love down, and then we are moving on to the devotional page. So week 1 is just, well, it's all about love, and it talks about all the different ways that we love and how we have different love for different people and different things. And I don't know, I kind of was trying to think of how to even think about this and put this down on paper. And I started with color, and to me, product can help lead me in certain ways. So I really liked this wood grain TN page, and it's got this cute little watercolor bear and a little bear and a big bear. It says, "Let your love run wild." And I felt like visually it went really well with the green 1 Corinthians part on the other page. So I just started there, and then I started picking I went and grabbed the week 1 because that looked really cute. The pink looked good there. And then I just started picking some letters, and what came to me was there's really the best way to love is to love His way and not to love anybody else's way. And so there's just been a lot of growth, I feel like, in me and how I look at people and how I interact with people, and I think my goal is just always to love His way. And so that's where we'll get. But obviously, I feel like I need to paint first. I think I did start to cut out the letters, but then I thought, I better get some paint down before we get going. So I'm doing like a coral and a brown because there's brown on the Traveler's Notebook insert page already. So again, I just wanted to make both pages feel like they went together properly. And again, I'm just looking through the Wordfetti to see if there's anything else that jives. And then when I realized that the statement that I want to make is love His way, I realized that there's this really gorgeous arrow. And so I want to make sure that I utilize that because I just feel like that's a good representation of loving His way. It's just a visual. So grabbing different things, I cut some things out, but it's not really going to work out. So I end up keeping it super simple and just doing all of the tiled alphas. I mix up the colors and trying to be a little more brave when it comes to using different colors in titles and stuff. It's not typical of me, and so it's a little uncomfortable, and it's a little uncomfortable to tilt them and make them touch each other. So bear with me if this feels like it takes a little while. I'm not really sure. I kind of just start making decisions and just going with it. And I had the arrow turned a couple of different ways and then decided that up was probably just the best way. And then I'm just gonna glue everything down. And one of my favorite things to do when I journal is to just make some lines. I don't use a ruler. I just kind of eyeball things, and so as soon as I get this little leaf cut out, then you'll see I'm gonna begin to journal and just gonna make some lines. Eventually I'm gonna get there. Where are we? Here we go. Got my pen. Oh, I'm testing the browns. I have 2 brown pens, and I wanted one that was darker for the lines, and then I'm using a different pen to write. I'm using a kind of a coral color. So I actually think that I wrote this in pen first, and normally if you've seen any of my process videos, you know that I like to journal in pencil first, but I was just feeling it. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I have for you today, and we will talk really soon. Bye now.